Feels like I'm going home.
Does God exist? You know, I don't think that is a question that's easily answered in a short period of time. I just want to share a story with you, a true story, that takes place back in the late 90s. In 1998, I met a young girl or young lady that I fell madly for. And I was convinced that this was the one that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And I told everyone that I knew. I told my family, I told my friends, I told my coworkers, and I told them that I believed in my heart that this was the one that I was going to marry. Unfortunately, she was interested in someone else. And so we only dated for a few short weeks. And around the time that we were parting ways, I carved her something that looked a little like this. It's a little hobby of mine. And I thought while I was making it, I was like, why am I doing this? I'm never going to see it again. Just say goodbye and be done with it. Now, believe it or not, I heard a voice. And this voice spoke to me and said, you're going to see this once again someday. And when you do, you are going to marry her in an instant. So I finished this carving and I gave it to her as a Christmas present. We didn't get back together again. Years went by and just nothing happened. So I just put the past behind me and went on with my life. So long story short, about 13 years later, I decided I wanted to live my dream and work as a working musician. Now, trying to play music for a living is not an easy thing to do. So to cut down on expenses, I moved in with my parents. I traded my pickup truck for an old Chevy Malibu, and so that I could teach guitar and play music for a living. Now, at this time, I also had horses, but you got to remember, I sold my pickup truck, and so if I was going to get feed to my horses, I had to throw a bale of hay in the back seat of my car. I was a working musician at 41 years old with no real job. I was living with my parents and driving a piece of junk car that smelled like horse poop and hay. I had strings of hay hanging from the ceiling. It would be a miracle if a woman was to come into my life and want to be with me at this point. Anyway, one day I was on Facebook and a text popped up in Messenger. Well, it was the young lady who I had fallen madly in love with 13 years prior. And she had invited me over for dinner. And when I walked in the door of her house, this was sitting on her television set. 3 days after I had seen this for the first time in 13 years, we were engaged. And we've been happily married for the last 11 years with 2 amazing kids. Now, you may not think that is evidence for the existence of God. Maybe it's just a coincidence, or maybe a cool idea for a Hallmark movie. And I believe God speaks to those who are willing to listen. If you are one who's truly seeking, you may be surprised what you might find. Well, please like and subscribe if you like this video. More videos about this subject are on the way. Thank you so much.